Welcome to our yin practice. My name is Kathy, and you might want to have a few props nearby for this practice. So if you do have yoga blocks, go ahead and have them, or if you have something that you can improvise with, shoe boxes or large books or anything else that you can work with, have that nearby. A couple of folded blankets, maybe just one, two if you have it, would be helpful, and or a pillow. So some sort of maybe a more narrow pillow, whatever you can work with, we will make it happen. So we are gonna actually start by coming into child's pose. So you can take your time and go ahead and sit back on your feet if your body allows it. If not, lift your hips as high as you need to and gently lower your forehead down. Your forehead can rest on any of those props you have. Could be the block, could be the blanket. If it goes comfortably to the floor, just take it there. You might have your arms stretched out in front of you with your shoulders and elbows soft, or you might have your hands alongside of your legs with your palms up and your hands back by your feet, but definitely rest the forehead. If you have those arms back alongside of your legs, let the shoulders wrap around the knees so they're relaxed. Close the eyes too. And just begin to breathe. Let your body settle back. And just let the breath flow through the nose. Quite often, I'll lift my head so that you can hear me talk, but you can always keep yours down. So for yin practice, we're going to avoid using too much muscular effort. So if you notice your muscles working, gently release those areas so that you can sink a little deeper into the connective tissue in the body. You might opt to slow the breath down here as you settle into your pulse, breathing in through the low belly, and letting it expand, and breathing out through that same space. Be sure you're staying soft in the muscles of your face. The belly might rise and fall in that space between the legs. And most poses will hold for a minute or possibly 3 to 5, depending on the pose. So really take your time here, no rush. As you sink into the pose, no force. Feel for quieting your mind as you settle in. You can do so by focusing on your breathing and letting it keep you in the moment here. And let's hang out here for a few more breaths, taking your time. Two more. On an inhale, you can slowly rise up. So stretch those arms out in front of you if they're not there, and come up onto your hands and knees. If you have that block or prop there, you might just want to keep it nearby. Have your hands under your shoulders and check that your knees are as wide as your hips. We're going to keep the knees right above the hips. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, bend your left elbow, turn the forearm so that it's parallel to the front of your mat, and come to rest the forearm down. Stretch your right arm out in front of you, and then bring your forehead down onto your left forearm. That right elbow is soft and relaxed. Try to let the back arch here slightly. And breathe. If you feel any discomfort in your elbows or feel like you need a little extra support here, you could take a blanket and slide it right under that forearm and let that right arm still extend out with the elbow resting. Breathe here. Hips staying right over the knees and just sinking into the pose. Try to relax through your shoulders. Notice if you're tensing up anywhere. If so, work to let that go. Take a few breaths. Keep them steady. Let the belly sink down. Relaxing into the back. Trying to find a bit of meditation in the pose as you focus on your breath. Notice the body. You might direct a little extra attention to the heart in this pose. As the chest releases downward. A little attention on the lungs. Wherever you're feeling that sensation, send your breath there. And we'll stay here for another moment. Two slow breaths. Last one. When you inhale, slowly begin to lift back up. And then we're going to switch. So cross that right forearm in front of you. Again, it could be on the mat, parallel to the front of your mat, or propped up on a blanket. And then stretch that left arm out ahead of you. Rest the elbow down toward your right hand or maybe right ahead of it. And let the forehead settle onto the forearm. If you feel any discomfort in your elbows or your shoulders, go ahead and slide that folded blanket right underneath your right forearm. And again, come to rest on it. Be sure your hips are stacked above your knees and your feet are staying at hips width. And the belly is gently releasing down, so there's a slight arch in the back. Waiting patiently in the pose as you take one breath at a time. Relaxing the muscles. You're finding a bit of meditation in the pose as you focus on your breath. You have a lot of chatter in the mind, which can often be the case for most of us. You might replace that chatter or occupy the mind with a mantra. If you have one in your practice, you can always find that. I could suggest the mantra of Shanti Om. So on the inhale, you could mentally, quietly tune into the sound of Shanti as you draw the breath in, drawing in peace. It's a Sanskrit word for peace. On the exhale, tuning into the sound of Om as you send that peaceful energy back out, or maybe direct it to an area in your body. Mantra can be like chewing gum for the mind, something to occupy the mind so that you might drift a bit deeper. Let's hang out here for a little while longer. And just remembering that you always have permission to back off, to lighten up, to take any break that you might need. Be sure to honor that. We'll take 3 slow breaths here. Just one more. Use an inhale to slowly come to lift back up to your hands and knees. Slide that blanket off to the side and have your hands under your shoulders once more. Fingers are wide here. We're going to press down through the right hand. On your inhale, take your left arm out to the side, lift it up. And then exhale, bend the right elbow as you bring the left arm down. Slide that left hand right behind your right wrist and come to rest on your left shoulder and left cheek. So left shoulder, left cheek resting down. If it doesn't go comfortably to the floor, again, you might tuck a prop underneath there to support your head and or your shoulder. Breathe here. The prop is optional, but honor the body if you need it. So maybe that right hand stays on the floor, or maybe you bring that hand behind the back, resting the back of the palm against your low back, possibly gripping your inner right thigh or clothing near that hip. Try to relax into your left shoulder. Let the muscles around it relax. Slow breath. Always an option to plant that right hand back on the floor. And try to tune out any outside sounds as you go deeper. Relaxing through that left hand. A few more slow breaths through the low belly. Let's take one breath here. Gently bring the right hand back to the floor. Press into it and inhale, slowly come up. Take that left arm up. You can bring it up high toward the sky. Exhale, bring it down to the mat. So you're back in tabletop pose on your hands and knees. We're going to switch sides so that left hand anchors down. Inhale, gently lift the right arm out and up. Exhale, bring the right arm down, bend the left elbow and slide the right hand behind the left wrist and come to settle onto your right cheek, your right shoulder. If you can't quite make it to the floor, you have tension in the shoulders, go ahead and slide that blanket underneath and you can rest on that, the head on it, the shoulder might hang off or might come on as well. Find what works for you and then let your body relax. Always an option to close the eyes here. Maybe that left hand stays there soft on the floor. Or maybe you bend that left elbow so the back of the palm would come to rest on your low back. Sometimes whatever clothing you can hang on to or possibly gripping the inner right thigh. Observe the body. Relax the muscles, the tendons. Working your way into the connective tissue, ligaments and fascia. Allowing for release there. And as you settle in, if the body feels you need to adjust, go ahead and make those adjustments. Let go of any tension in the face. Great. Continuing to breathe slowly. Continuing to soften. So the breath is slow here. It might even be natural. But just try to keep it out of the upper chest so the nerves stay calm as you breathe into your belly. And we'll find just a few more. Let's take another breath here. Feel for slowly releasing that left hand back to the floor if you lifted it. Have your palm flat press into your hand and inhale as you rise up. You can take that right arm out up over the head. Open those shoulders up just for a moment. Exhale, bring that arm down. So we're back in tabletop pose on your hands and knees. Let's go ahead, and you might have both blocks and bring them forward in front of you if they're not there. You have those blocks or whatever you have to stand in for them. And then you might even want a blanket to pad your knees, just have it nearby. So from our cross leg or from our hands and knees, we're going to step the right foot forward to the outside of your right hand. You're going to turn those right toes to point outward and let your hands stay on the left side of the right leg. You could opt to pad that back knee. That knee can get a little sensitive here and we'll be here for a while, so it's worth supporting. And once you've supported it, lift through the chest slightly and then slowly start to release. You might stay here on your fingers, your flat palms. You might come onto blocks. You can rotate the height as needed. Maybe you come to rest forearms on your blocks. Maybe you lower the forearms to a lower point on the blocks. Find what works for you. You can be high, medium, or low. You might interlace your fingers and drop your head down. Gently sink into that bending knee. Relax through the jaw. Let the shoulders soften. And release into that left thigh. Stay here and breathe. Try to relax the muscles around the hip as you settle in. If you're able to bring those arms down to the floor, forearms, go for it. If you need to come up higher at any point, honor that. But just let the head release. If you need to back off, go ahead and do so. Feel for staying cool here, not building too much heat in the body. Letting this practice be calm, more still, quiet. And direct your attention inside of your body. And breathe into whatever release you're finding, whatever softening you can manage. We'll stay here just a little while longer. Feeling free to inhale to the sound of Shanti. Draw peace in. Exhale to the sound of Om, sending it back out. Let's take 2 slow breaths. And 1 more. When you inhale, take your time and support your way back up. Press those hands down and gently step that right knee back. You might take a moment to pad that knee or straighten out that blanket. We're going to shift those blocks slightly to the right or whatever props you have. And when you're ready, step your left foot forward. Try to turn those left toes outward toward the left. You might come up onto fingertips first, lift through the chest, and gently sink into the hips. Be sure your back knee is supported, and either stay up tall with the head drop down, or maybe start to settle a little lower onto your blocks. Working with your body, you might have them on their highest point. Bring forearms there. You might go a little lower, and then relax through the head. Again, guide the shoulders back, just so they're soft. And breathe. So working to let go of most muscular effort here. Softening the area around your left hip. Sometimes after you've spent a bit of time in a pose, you might be able to go deeper. If the body invites that, you can lower those blocks even more to guide your way there, but no force. You can observe what is grounded here, staying low to the earth, connected to the energy of the earth. That's solidity, groundedness. Staying here long enough to tune into some hidden spaces in the body. Working to foster release from those areas. Allowing for openings, not just in the body, but in the mind, the spirit as well. Let's take just a few more breaths in this position. Last one. Using an inhale, slowly begin to lift up. Really take your time. You can plant those hands. And then step that left leg back to tabletop pose on your hands and knees. And slide your blocks in onto the front of your mat. And then we're going to sit back on the feet. Take the legs off to the side, hands to one side, legs to the other, and bring the legs onto the floor ahead of you. We'll come into a seated position with the legs straight. So you might sit on the very edge of your blanket, just having a little bit of height for your sit bones. And then once you arrive there, have those blocks and possibly even a blanket or pillow nearby. And then we're going to bend just the right knee in so the heel is close to the groin. As close as is comfortable in your body. You can relax that left foot. Sit up tall. Have your blocks nearby. Let your hands frame your straight leg. And lift up tall. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, just slowly start to fold toward that leg. Go as far as the body would like to go and drop your head down. So you might take your blanket, fold it up. You can do this with a combo of blankets, of whatever you have here, your pillow even, and rest your head on it. You could also stack up your blocks. And you might rest your head there. So I prefer the pillow or the folded blanket toward the knee and then head dropping down. Arms can just continue to lay out, framing that leg, shoulder soft, release the head. You could even have the head hanging here, but it might feel better to support it. And breathe. And relax that left foot. Relax the left leg. Try to allow gravity to do the weight for you as it draws you to the earth without force. Gently guiding the body deeper if the breath draws you there. And softening the muscles. Spend a few more breaths right here. Gently releasing for 2 more. Muscles soft, letting the connective tissue absorb the stress that you're finding in the pose. And breathe into it.
Exhale all the way. And then when you inhale, just slowly let your hands guide your way back up. And once you're up, you can slide that prop or whatever props you have off to the side. And let's switch legs. So we're going to straighten the right leg out, bend the left knee in, heel as close to the groin as is comfortable for half butterfly. Sit up nice and tall. Take a breath in. Let your hands frame your leg, and then exhale as you start to fold toward it. And then find whatever works for you. You might stack your blocks up toward the inside of that leg. Rest the forehead there, whatever height you need. It might be a blanket or even the blanket and the pillow in combination if you need a little bit of a higher prop. And then come to fold. Begin to release. Soften your shoulders back and just let yourself sink into the pose. Be sure that right foot is relaxed, the right leg muscles are relaxed. Try to stay present here. Trying not to drift. Breathing into the sensations you feel. Making sure those sensations aren't coming from too much muscular effort. See if you can tune in to the energy in the body, observing it as it flows through you. Let the back release and the head, the neck for just a few more breaths. One more. Use an inhale to slowly let the hands walk your head and chest back up. Head lifting last. And now let's take that prop off to the side, whatever's there, and bring your right foot in to meet your left foot, coming into a full butterfly pose. Again, you can be sitting toward the edge of your blanket. Press the soles of the feet together, hold on to your ankles, and sit up tall for a moment. Just take a deep breath as your knees soften toward the floor. Inhale here. On the exhale, you can start to walk your hands out in front of your legs. And then maybe you find your blocks or blocks and blanket, a combination, so that you can slowly rest the head somewhere. You might rotate the height as needed and let the forehead settle onto something. Let your hands relax. Maybe turn the palms up, release through the shoulders, and breathe. If it's a little too much on your hips or groin, you could always tuck an extra blanket or pillow that you have on the outer thighs, just under those knees. Or you could walk your feet a little bit away from you. Find what supports you and settle into the pose. Knowing that you can rotate the height of your props if you begin to go a bit deeper. Support that release. Eyes closed. Attention inward. Notice if you feel yourself really gripping here, really tightening up any areas. And if you do, send your exhales to those spaces in an effort to relax them. Notice where the mind is. If it's drifted into thoughts, bring it back to this moment. You might connect with mantra or just remain present as you breathe. And a few more breaths here. Two more. Use an inhale to slowly lift back up. Take your time. And once you lift up, you can slide those props off to the side and then gently straighten out one leg at a time. And then we'll come into a seat with both legs straight. Sit up tall, be close to the front of your prop, your blanket. And inhale here, relax the feet. And exhale, just start to fold toward both of your legs. Let your head rest down, let your shoulders hang loose and your arms relax. Now again, you might stay here just folding over, but it can be nice to support the head. So maybe you put a block between the legs to rest the head, and again, you can stack them in any way that feels right. Maybe it's a block and a blanket. Find what works for you. I'm going to go with a block and a block. Rest the head there, relax the arms, and breathe. If you start to slink a little forward, do it without force and support that release by guiding the props a little forward to accommodate that. And breathe. Try to relax through the back. Relax the feet and the legs. Feel for staying patient here. Staying patient as you breathe, patient as you release. Patient with your body and patient with your mind. Try to allow this slow attitude in the body to transfer into the mind. This yin attitude of staying cool and calm. Notice if you tensed up anywhere, if you invited in any yang or more active energy, and if so, relax it, let it go. And let's breathe here for just a few more. Let one breath. When you inhale, just slowly, you can turn those palms down if they're up, and then let them begin to lift your head and torso. Once you've lifted up, scoop those props off to the side. Take that prop out from under you. And then we'll come to lie on the back. So just take your time lying on your back. And once you arrive there, we'll have the knees bent and the feet on the floor. And you might just have all your props nearby. Knees and feet will be about hips width apart. The chin is slightly tucked toward the chest. Let's cross the right outer ankle just above your left knee. And then you can hang out right here, just letting the leg relax. But if you would like to, you could lift the left foot up off the mat and interlace your hands behind your left thigh. Let that left foot relax, let the shoulders relax, and breathe. So you could gently draw that left thigh toward you, but again, try to keep your shoulders down and the muscles in your face soft. The right knee might draw away from you just a little bit, increasing the stretch or just really exploring the stretch in that right hip as you maybe play with a little bit of movement. Just little subtle changes. And then breathe into what you're finding. And try to relax the muscles. Always an option to keep that left foot on the ground and your arms relaxed out wide. Good. Stay present with your breath. Steady with your breathing through the belly. Feeling the support of the floor or the earth below you. A few more breaths. Two more. Exhale all the way and release those hands from that thigh if they're there. Place that left foot down and bring the right foot back onto the floor, knees and feet about hips width apart. Gently cross your left outer ankle above your right knee and settle here. You might just hang out with that left knee, drawing toward the front of your mat. Arms could come out wide, palms up. Or maybe you pick that right foot up off the floor and interlace the hands behind the right thigh. And then just relax that right calf down. You might engage the arms just slightly to draw the shoulders down, a little bend in the elbows to bring that left or that right thigh toward you, and let the left knee come away from you. But then settle in and try to soften your muscles a bit. Relax through all the muscles in the face and breathe. Always feeling free to place your right foot back down. And you might make just little tiny movements, maybe drawing the body slightly to the right or the left, or just little movements that you play with to change the stretch. And then relax the muscles. Relax the feet. Soften the areas around your left hip. Let's stay here for just a few more breaths. One more. Use an exhale to release those hands if they're behind that thigh and bring that right foot onto the mat. Bring the left foot back down, knees and feet again about hips width apart. Take your arms out wide and turn your palms up. And now cross your right leg, right thigh over the left thigh. And take whatever twist of the legs. You might double wrap them or maybe single wrap, whatever feels right. And then we're going to let the legs fall over to the left. Once your legs fall over to the left, you could turn your gaze to the right shoulder. If this twist in the legs is a little too much, you could just simply have your knees stacked and your legs fall to the side from there. Otherwise, maintain that twist. Right thigh crossed over the left. As much of a cross as you would like. Gaze to the right, soften the shoulders and the arms, and breathe. Try to relax through your jaw. Keep the breath steady through the low belly. But if your knees don't comfortably go to the floor, you could always tuck a blanket or a block underneath of them. Let's just find a few more breaths in this position. One more. Have the head at center, and then inhale, you could bring those knees back up to vertical. Uncross the legs if they are. Settle onto your back again, and let's switch that. We'll cross the left thigh over the right thigh. Maybe you just hang here with one cross and let the legs fall to the right. Maybe you hook the foot around the calf and let the legs fall to the right from there. And again, if this is not comfortable, you can just have your knees stacked and let the legs fall over to the side. So find what works for you. Once those legs hang out to the right, turn your gaze to the left, relax your shoulders, let your palms rest up with your fingers soft. You could close the eyes and breathe. And again, you can always tuck a block under those knees for a little extra support. You might find that your body is not even. Maybe one side goes comfortably to the floor without support and the other side needs that support. If so, honor it. Direct your attention back to your breathing as you relax the muscles. Couple breaths here. Good, one more. Use an inhale to bring those knees back up to vertical. Unravel those legs if they're wrapped, feet back onto the floor, arms next to your body. And now just bring both knees into your chest. And once you have a grip, hold onto your knees. And then maybe you just rock a little side to side, just loosen anything up. Maybe you hold your body still here, relax through the feet. If you're rocking, you can use the motion to massage your back. You could circle your knees around a bit, or again, you might hold still, steady. Let yourself come to center. Keep that grip on your knees, but relax your shoulders down. Have the back of the head on the mat and just take a couple breaths. You could bend your elbows just slightly to draw those knees toward you, but let it be slight. And keep the shoulders soft. One breath. Gently release your hands from your legs and bring your feet onto the floor. Slowly straighten your legs out. And we'll come to settle into Shavasana, your resting pose. So lying flat on your back. Arms coming out wide. You might take a spare blanket and roll it, placing it under your knees to support your back a bit more. Optional. So find your resting position with that blanket under the knees or not. It can even be a block under each knee. But let your arms come out wide, turn your palms up, and let your feet flop off to the side. Again, have the head in that neutral position. And I will be sitting up to guide you through your resting pose, but stay there, settled. And really let your breath be natural here. If you were manipulating it and exaggerating it, no more of that as you rest. So the breath can stay in the belly, but it's calm. Try to have the eyes closed so your attention stays inward. And give your whole body a break. Your whole body sinking in to the earth as you rest. As you absorb all of the benefits, of which there are many, from your practice. Be sure that you're relaxed through the toes and the feet. The ankles and the low legs. The knees and the upper legs. Your hips, relax them. Your pelvis and buttocks. Belly soft. Chest relaxed. Entire back resting. Releasing through the fingers and the palms and backs of hands. Wrists and lower arms. Elbows and upper arms. Shoulders sinking down. Neck relaxed. Letting go through the jaw, the tongue, and the lips. The cheeks, the nose, the eyes. Forehead is smooth. Ears are relaxed. Inner attention resting at brow center, observing there from the seat of consciousness. The mind quiet, peaceful and calm. As your body settles into the earth, and you just absorb. Residing here for several moments.
We'll start to wake the body up slowly. You could do so by just taking a deeper breath into your belly, as if you're beginning to draw attention back to that area. Pumping the breath in and out. And then maybe turning the head from side to side. Maybe wiggling the fingers and toes. You could rotate wrists, rotate ankles. Take a deeper breath and then feel for guiding your palms together above your heart. Rub them. And bring the soles of your feet together from your back position and rub them as well. Feel a little energy come back into the body as you rub your hands and feet. And then inhale to lift your arms up high over your head. Straighten your legs long, full body stretch from fingers to toes. Breathe in as you lengthen. Breathe out as you bend your elbows and knees and roll onto the right side of your body so that you're resting on your side, maybe the head in the crevice of the right elbow. Close the eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. And just notice, just observe the quality of your being, observing your mind, your body, and spirit. Take a breath into that awareness. Without judging it, just acknowledging it. And then press into your left hand to find yourself up to a seated pose. You might even keep the eyes closed as you come to sit up tall. The attention inward. Hands could find the heart center or maybe just rest over top of your heart space. Spine is long. Feel free to support your seat with a prop. And I'm going to close with a mantra I'll chant 3 times in Sanskrit, the language of yoga. The mantra simply means, may all beings on all planes be free and happy. I'll follow it with a short Om, Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace. You can listen or enjoy. Long spine, deep in-breath. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti
Shanti. To end all practices by honoring the divinity that resides within us all, the word namaste, namaste. Thank you for joining me for this yin practice. Hope you have a peaceful rest of your day.